Yes, you've made it, guys, to 6.9, solving fractional equations. This is the last unit before your study guide, and you're off to wonders on Unit 7. Our objective today is that students will be able to solve fraction equations, meaning some kind of equation that has a fraction inside. I know that's your least favorite topic, but today it's going to be all worth it. So let's start by looking at some key things when working with fraction. The key to working with fractions or rational expression is to manipulate the equation by typically multiplying both sides of it by some quantity that eliminates the fractions. The first exercise we're going to talk about cross multiplying, which we all know what that means. So the first example, cross multiply means this. 5 goes to 4x plus 5, and then we have 2 into 2x. Distribute this becomes 20x plus 25 is equal to 2x minus 2. And this is a simple one-step, two-step equation that we can be looking at here. So, what do? Minus 2x on both sides. Remember, only my like terms. This is cancel. I'm left with 18x plus 25 is equal to negative 2. Remember, you have to keep this negative. So I want a minus 25 on both sides as well. And I'm left with 18x is equal to negative 27. How do I get x by itself? Divide both sides by 18. X is equal to negative 27 over 18, or negative 3 over 2. Either one of this will work. For B, so now what do I want to do? Cross multiply again. Get rid of fractions. I don't want to work with fractions. And then this goes 2 into 2 minus x. Box method here, if you were to do this, multiplying binomials, box method, this will give you x squared minus 5x minus 6 is equal to 4. Take away 2x. I just distribute this over. Now this is a quadratic, it's square, so I want to move everything over. So first I want to do is add 2x on both sides. This gives me x squared minus 3x minus 6 is equal to 4. Minus 4 on both sides now, so x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. This is what's here. I'm going to go ahead and solve this. A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 3, C is equal to negative 10. So when I go and solve this, I will get x plus 2 and x minus 5 equals to 0. Use your zero property rule and make this equal to 0. So this is going to be x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x minus 5 is equal to 0. Minus 2 on both sides, x is equal to negative 2, which is one answer. Add 5 to both sides, x is equal to 5, which is my other answer. Why do I have two answers? Because remember, this is a quadratic, the square. It tells me that I have two answer choices. So let's move on to exercise 2. It says, what is the least common denominator for all three fractions? Remember, we talked about this earlier. So my least common denominator, in this case, look at the numbers, 2 and 4. So my least common denominator is 4. And then I'm going to put the x because I know they need to have x. So multiply both sides by the LCD to clear the equation with the denominator. So I don't want denominators. So what I'm going to do is multiply everything on both sides by that number. This is going to be multiplied by 4x. So let's just get some space and bring this down. Now when I do this, just like what we were talking about earlier lesson, the 2 goes into this 2 times, so I'm left with 2x minus 9 because this cancels off with that. This cancels off with that, and I'm left with 3. Now look at this. This is a simple two-step equation. Add 9 on both sides. 2x is equal to 12. Divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 6. And that's it. Now let's see, simple regions questions. Bring it down here. Which of the following values solve for x? So you have, if this was a regions question, you have two options. Solve this, or so your first option is to solve it correctly, and in 2 you need to plug in answer choice if you have no idea what to do. One of these you plug in for x and it will give you true. But let's do this mathematically because this is what we're working on now. So the LCD, in this case 6, 10, and 15, is 30. Remember, it's 6, 10, and 15. So I do LCD of 6, 10. It will give me 30. And then I do LCD of 30, 15, and it will give me 30 again. So what I want to do is multiply, just like what we did here. Multiply everything out. This becomes 30 x minus 4 over 6 plus x minus 2 over 10 is equal to 31 over 15, and multiply this by 30. Now what do I get? The 6 goes into 35 times, so this is 5 x minus 4 plus 10 goes into 33 times, and then this is x minus 2. 15 goes into 32 times, so this is 2 times 31. Now distribute this, plus 3x minus 6 is equal to 62. Now combining like terms, I get 8x minus 26 is equal to 62. How do I solve? Add 26 on both sides. 8x is equal to 8 divide by 8 on both sides. X is equal to 11, which goes back to choice 4. Hey, choice 4. Let's say you have no idea what to do and how to solve this. All you got to do is wherever you see x, you replace it with one of these with the equal sign and everything, and you look for, is it true or is it false? Okay, let's move on to exercise 4. Solve each of the following equations for all possible value of x. Now, let's see what's going on. The first thing you need to find is your LCD. The LCD of 5 and 10 is 10, and then it has an x and an x squared, so I want to use the x squared. Okay, see how I found this? So I want to multiply both sides by 10x squared and see what's left over. The 10s are canceled, so I have x squared minus 10x, because there's one x there, is equal to 5 goes into 10 2 times, and then there is an x left over. Take away 20. The x squares cancel. 10 times 2 is 20. Now break all of this over. I get x squared minus 12x plus 20 is equal to 0. My A, my B, my C. Factor that, I get x minus 10 and x minus 2 equals to 0. I want to go ahead and solve that out. I can get x minus 10 equals to 0, which means x is equal to 10. Or I can get x minus 2 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to 2. There you go, simple. All we really need to focus is on what's this LCD, and then I think you guys are fine. So 2 and 4, look at your numbers. The LCD of 2 and 4, you put it on the calculator. If you have no idea, 2 comma 4, you will see it says 4. Now what do you use? I see an x squared, and an x squared. What's the highest one? An x squared. That's it. That's how I determine what to do. So I'll time this by 4x squared. Time this part of it also by 4x squared. and then I'm going to simplify. 4 goes into 4, 2 goes into 4 2 times, and since it's a 1, it's going to be a 2x squared plus, what is this? 4x squared and x. So we take an x out, and you're left with 4x and 3, which becomes 4x and now 3. I'll simplify. After take away, 4 is equal to x plus what is left over here, 2. Remember, you just look for what is left over. So like the 4 is gone, the x, there's 2 x's here, 1 there, so that's 1 x left over. This becomes 2x squared plus 12x minus 4 is equal to x plus 2. This is a quadratic since it's square, so I want to move everything over. This becomes 2x squared plus minus x on both sides plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0. So those of you that forgot, how do we do this? My a is 2, my b is 11, my c is negative 6. This becomes negative 12 and 11. Two numbers, when I multiply it, I get negative 12, but when I add it, I get positive 11. It's 12 and negative 1. My a is bigger than 2. Bigger than 1, sorry, it's 2, so I replace this. I get 2x squared plus 12x minus 1x minus 6. They have a 2x in common. I'm left with x plus 6 minus 1. It's x plus 6. I write my factors out. So this was a quick refresher. So this is actually going to be 2x minus 1 and x plus 6 equals to 0. Now branch this off. I have 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, which means 2x is equal to 1, x is equal to 1/2, and then I have, and then I have x plus 6 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to negative 6. Alrighty, so because fractional equations often involve denominators containing variable, it is important that we check to see if any solution to the equation may make it undefined. And remember, what makes it undefined is when the denominator is 0. These represents further example of something called the extraneous roots. Now we're going to see what that is in the following examples. A. So in those two examples, it says solve and reject any extraneous roots, meaning reject any answer that will make the denominator undefined. So just as we would always do is first factor. This becomes x plus 1 and x plus 5 plus 18. Now this is a quadratic. If you do your a, b, and c, you will get x plus 3 and x plus 5. 9x plus 3. So looking at this, I can clearly tell my LCD would have to be x plus 5 and x plus 3. This is one of those that has those crazy things. So what I'm going to do, I want to multiply all of this by x plus 5 and x plus 3, and let's move this over. Same goes for this. I want to multiply all of this by x plus 5 and x plus 3. Now what happens here? Let's see. So the 5's are cancel out. You're left with x plus 1 and x plus 3 plus, both of these are cancel, which is 18. The 3's are cancelled, so you're left with 9x plus 5. Let's simplify this. Box method gives us x squared plus 4x plus 3 plus 18 is equal to 9x plus 45. I distributed. Now because this is a quadratic, I want to combine my like terms and move everything around. So this becomes x squared plus 4x, 18 plus 3 is 21, is equal to 9x plus 45. Minus 9x on both sides, x is squared minus 5x plus 21 is equal to 45. Don't know if you want me to write that in, but here you go. Take away 45 on both sides. You are left with x squared minus 5x minus 24 is equal to 0. If I go ahead and solve this as my a, b, c, I will get x minus 8 and x plus 3 equals 0. Using the zero property rule, what can I get? I get x is equal to 8 and, not and, x or x is equal to negative 3 equals negative 3. So let's just write that a little better. So I want to say, it says reject any of these answers. Let's see. If I plug 8 into my original equation, I'll get an answer. My other answer said it's x negative 3. But look at this. If I was to plug this in, it will be 9 over negative 3 plus 3, which is 9 over 0, which is undefined. So we would have to reject this answer, and the only answer to this solution, to this equation, would be x equals 8. Okay, so let's get this down. Last example, same thing we're going to do is factor first. So if you want me to write this, factor first. First thing first. 4 over, this is a simple quadratic, which is x plus 6 and x minus 2, plus x minus 1 over x plus 6 is equal to 1 over x minus 2. So what now? LCD is x plus 6 and x minus 2. What I want to do is multiply everything on this side by, and I'm going to write it on top, x plus 6 and x minus 2. That's a 6. Same goes with this. I'm going to multiply by x plus 6 and x minus 2. Let's just make this a little better so you understand. Sorry about that, guys. Now let's look at this. These are all canceled, so I am now left with 4 by itself, plus the 6 is canceled, so I'm left with x minus 1 and x minus 2. The 2's are canceled here. 1 times that is actually the same thing, which is x plus 6. Box method, this becomes 4 plus x squared minus 3x plus 2 is equal to x minus 6. Let's just combine some like terms here. This becomes x squared minus 3x plus 6 is equal to x minus plus 6. What do I want to do? Minus x on both sides, so I have x squared minus 4x plus 6 is equal to 6. Minus 6 on both sides, x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. Why? Because why is this 6? Remember, if you want me to write it, minus 6, this actually cancels out, okay? What I did here is minus x. So, what do this? This is not a quadratic, so I can go ahead and solve this, but they do have an x in common, and I'm left with x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, if I split this out, I have x is equal to 0 or x minus 4 is equal to 0. So this is one answer, or x is equal to 4. Now I look at this. If I enter 0 into any of this, it won't make it undefined. If I enter 4 into these here, these x's, it will not make it undefined. So both of these are my, both of those are my answer choice. Alrighty guys, you guys made it. You stuck in with me through thick and thin out of this unit. It was a very tough unit. I am extremely proud of you for getting this far. Now just keep up your good work, and remember, as always, Mr. Gonzalez says, rigor, respect, responsibility, every scholar, every day. Make it a great day. The Hume two ways. So go ahead and do those practice problems. Good luck.